Alright guys, I'm now back from a near 2-year-long break from making videos. Yeah, I came back after 2 years to complain about something. Now, this entire video might just be me. You might disagree with everything I say, you might not. I might be reaching a little bit in this video, but the reason why I'm making this video is because I am concerned about the direction in which YouTube is heading. I'm pretty much just going to go over all of the problems on YouTube in the year 2025. The reason why I think that YouTube is on a decline is because of these two huge reasons. The first reason is the bad algorithm. I'm going to start by separating these specific channels / videos that are pushed into the algorithm into two categories. The first type of videos is what I like to call engagement videos. The YouTube algorithm prioritizes one thing above all else: engagement. It doesn't matter what the video is. If it doesn't grab viewers' attention and keep it, it does not get recommended in almost all circumstances. We'll go back to this point in a few minutes. Now, something I want to admit for the first time on this channel that I'm probably going to get hate for is that I don't really like Mr. Beast's videos. What I see is that this dude's entire personality at this point in 2025 is just giving away money. It's almost like the only thing that he can do is give people money. I know that for most people it's entertaining to watch. I commend him for his philanthropy, or whatever it's called. But at the end of the day, regarding YouTube, in my opinion, it shifts the platform's focus away from having personality, creativity, and originality towards a more transactional, spectacle-driven meaning. Don't get me wrong though, I do think that Mr. Beast is well deserving of having the biggest channel and the biggest videos on YouTube, but when YouTube's algorithm prioritizes Mr. Beast genre videos where the only point of the video is the spectacle over a channel that has very original and authentic and meaningful content, that's what the problem is. It's that smaller creators can't compete with these Mr. Beast genre videos. And instead of inspiring meaningful content or having authenticity like his philanthropy videos do, all of his most popular videos are ones where he either buys stuff or exploits people for content. I do want to question why these videos where he either shows off his wealth or exploits people for content always get way more views than the other ones I was just talking about. Why are these videos, where the entire point is just money, why are these pushed more into the algorithm than any other genre of video? These videos that get promoted most in the algorithm have set a standard, if that's the right word, where success is measured primarily by how much money a creator can give away, for example, rather than the quality or value of their ideas. And I actually believe that this is exactly what YouTube wants, or at least what the algorithm wants. The algorithm wants this factory-like efficiency where you have the high engagement factor as frequently as possible. And by the way, this is a little off topic, but I just want you all to hear this absolutely diabolical idea that Mr. Beast has for a video.
We just started a video where we built a gym, like just a weightlifting gym, and then we put a big red circle around it, and then we're gonna give a guy either, I don't know which one, if he loses 100 pounds before he leaves that red circle.
Ooh.
And he has a trainer in there, and he has a chef and everything he'll need. Yeah, and then
Exciting.
Yeah, so like that video might take like a year, you know. And so he's living in there. We have cameras set up, and it's just like lose 100 pounds or leave, you know. And if you lose 100 pounds before you leave, you win the money.
What? I think that he has become so out of touch with reality and so focused on doing the next big thing that this diabolical idea of putting somebody in a gym and making them lose 100 pounds, which might take up to a year, you're willing to keep this guy in a gym for an entire year just for one video? What world does this man live in? But hey, it'll have a nice shiny thumbnail like every other video, and it's gonna get hundreds of millions of views, so I guess it's worth it, right? Right, guys? It's normal human behavior to put somebody in a gym for a year for a single YouTube video, right? No, but seriously, how far are you willing to take it? What's the next video that's gonna outdo this idea? Sending somebody to space until they make contact with alien kind? Like, first person to come in contact with little green men on Mars gets $100,000? Like, seriously, how far is Mr. Beast willing to take his videos for views? It's a genuine question. If he's willing to incentivize somebody to be locked in a gym for up to a year with cameras on them the entire time, what else is he willing to do for views? I think that these are valid questions that people should be asking. And what makes it worse is that over time this could create a bad environment where smaller creators feel pressured to emulate the same format of prioritizing engagement and spectacle over the real value of the video to remain relevant. By coming up with these borderline psychopathic, crazy ideas that Mr. Beast has in his brain in order to get more clicks. Though I do actually think that people trying to copy Mr. Beast are just as much guilty, if not more guilty, of polluting the site. While it may be entertaining to watch a $1 million challenge video, even if it's something extremely unrealistic like losing 100 pounds, it's actually very demotivating for upcoming creators to have to almost be forced to eventually compete with videos like these in the algorithm. And the second more common type of video is what I like to call factory videos, because these channels produce the same thing over and over again efficiently so that they can appease YouTube's algorithm with frequent uploads. The most obvious example of this is police body cam channels. They have the same editing, same AI voice in every single video, no originality in any videos, just the same thing over and over and over and over again. I think that this idea started with Sunny V2's style of videos, where he doesn't seem to care enough about the important things like research, but instead, his videos seemed rushed, and more often than not, they get a lot of views because of how efficient they are. The bad side of this is that he gets like half of his information from Reddit, one of the most untrustworthy websites of all time, and the other half is taken off of like the Joe Rogan podcast or Twitter, places like that. There's just not a lot of authenticity put into his videos. And the other problem is that these types of channels, their videos are based off of other people's content. I think that they're pretty much making money off of other people's videos. And don't even get me started on these White Room videos. These might be the worst. This is also pretty much the same thing over and over and over again, but they have an extra, like, 3 layers of just only existing for engagement and views. Who the hell is sitting on the edge of their seat waiting for the next White Room video to watch the exact same shit as the last 28 videos? Maybe it's just me, but I don't get it. It's just insane to think that there's actually people who are like foaming at the mouth for the next White Room video. Kameron has an amazing video on these White Room videos and why they suck. He goes into it way better than I can, so check it out if you're interested. But all of this risks turning YouTube into a stage for one-dimensional content centered around money and frequency, which would actually go against the platform's identity as a place to express yourself and your ideas. Rather, YouTube would lack personality and it would look more like a factory that just produces products. Again, I understand that a shit ton of people like this content, but what I see personally is YouTube treating the audience as if they're just numbers. Prioritization of money and numbers over meaning and authenticity is never a good sign. There should be meaning to why a video is being created, but with probably 60 to 70% of videos in the algorithm now, it's just kind of like either the creator made the video as fast as possible to appease YouTube's algorithm, or the entire point of the video is just to maintain numbers. This movement from personality to efficiency, I feel like we're starting to lose what makes a great video great. People say that Mr. Beast videos are great because they're intense and overly engaging, but those things are extremely temporary. Not saying those videos are bad, but they just need to be less intrusive and more meaningful. The video I'm showing on screen now is probably the best video I have ever seen on YouTube, but I can assure you that this video, which took about a year to make, was not pushed as much in the algorithm as a Mr. Beast video would be, despite the fact that so much effort and way more meaning was put into this video than any of Mr. Beast's videos. I do not feel comfortable being part of a website that is more interested in White Room videos than something like this video on screen, or these videos that always have the same thumbnail, kind of like a cheap, mass-produced product over videos that people put tons of effort and meaning into. There are a growing number of creators now who feel that success is out of reach because of these things. It's almost like a YouTube equivalent of the income gap between the rich and the poor. The bigger channels always get way more opportunities, while the smaller channels keep getting less opportunities. I think that by 2030, there's going to be almost no opportunity to grow your channel without appeasing the algorithm. That is what I'm concerned about regarding the algorithm. Now, probably the second biggest problem with YouTube right now is favoritism. It's very obvious by now that YouTube does not treat all creators equally. One problem that doesn't seem to be getting any better is big channels falsely reporting or copyright claiming smaller channels who criticize them. For example, let's say that, hypothetically, a freaky-ass YouTuber sends all of their viewers to go mass report a video for no good reason.
We're reporting that video! Report! This is harassment and bullying! This is harassing me! That I don't give a fuck! That's harassing me!
This would actually have a way higher chance of getting a video removed, since the number of reports would be pretty high if he sends all of his fans to report people's videos. Again, YouTube only cares about numbers. These huge creators that YouTube favorites over smaller creators, by default, obviously, have way more power than a smaller creator would have when reporting a legitimate complaint. But I might be going a little too harsh on YouTube here. Maybe they have robots running the site or something. I wouldn't be surprised at all. They seem to be very lazy with most things. The idea of somebody with more subscribers having more authority just because of the number being higher is the real-life equivalent of the government villainizing or outright putting people in jail who speak out against them. Like, how is the government allowed to determine which speech against them is a threat and which ones aren't? That's the literal definition of abusive power. And Logan Paul literally showed a dead body on camera in front of millions of kids. And if I remember correctly, he was making fun of it too. He was like, "Oh, look at his hands," or whatever he said. This man literally saw a dead body hanging in the forest of death. He recorded it, made fun of it, got back home, edited the video, and uploaded it for millions of 11-year-olds to see. And the whole time, he thought that it was a good idea. This is complete psychopathic behavior. But, of course, as we all know, I think all his punishment amounted to was like being demonetized for a week or two. Yeah, if I were to do this, my channel would be deleted forever. No appeals, nothing. But because Logan Paul was the biggest YouTuber at the time, there was no real punishment. And this was 7 years ago. So you know by now it's only getting worse. I think that these huge channels that are giving YouTube higher numbers than the smaller channels, I think that they are abusing or taking advantage of their power. And the problem is that YouTube more often than not only hears their side of the story because they would be closer to YouTube metaphorically. Obviously, I'm not saying that every single big YouTuber abuses their privilege. Most of them don't. But those who do get away with it pretty easily as long as they're pulling high numbers.
And I feel like the reason that they weren't willing to be a little more transparent or just look into the situation a little further is due to the video being mass reported by Deshae Frost and his audience, or YouTube just showing favoritism to one of their bigger creators on the platform. Like, this strike feels a little targeted, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was targeted because there was a lot of truth to my video, and it seems like YouTube is trying to silence this truth. I called out a bigger creator for doing weird activities, yet I'm being silenced.
YouTube in the future has the potential to be more than just a source of entertainment. But to achieve that, there needs to be a balance between engagement and substance. You can't be too lopsided on either side. I'm not mad at YouTube. I'm not even mad at Mr. Beast. I'm just worried about this new wave of factory-ass videos that have been overshadowing I guess straight up better and more meaningful videos. And I'm worried about what that means for other smaller creators that have to compete with the factory, especially considering the fact that we know that YouTube has bias towards bigger creators that have this power. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below, I guess. I don't expect anybody to agree with everything I said. I just wanted to make this video to explain why I don't really like the way YouTube's future is looking. And there is a lot of creators who feel the same way. So, yeah.